boys, I'm back with my second SmackDown vs RAW trilogy review in SmackDown vs RAW 2006, and yeah, this was a way better game than the previous game. But there were some nitpicks of the game. But now this game came out in 2005, and this game will live in infamy for us because this was the last time. Yes, I know 2007 Ager was in the game, but this was the last time Ager was this is the last time we used Ager when he was still alive. Yes, I know he was in 2007 as a legend, but that was after he passed away. So, but yeah, now my problem with SVR, the first SmackDown vs. RAW, because the hilarious voice acting like, I was just looking for you. Don't worry, the sledgehammer doesn't have your name on it. The hell you think you are? No, they actually are talking. Now, I'll talk about that later. So anyways, the game modes are the same. You know, Royal Rumble still there, Elimination Chamber match still there. They have some new match types. One's a boiler room, or a bar room brawl, rather, and a backstage brawl. Although that was in a hardcore match if you want to play it, but yeah. There's a Buried Alive match for the first time, and it's not an actual Buried Alive match because there's a casket in the grave. Yeah. Yeah, and then we have tile matches for the first time since Know Your Role. Yeah. And now there are changes that are locked, like the World Heavyweight and the WWE Championship, which you have to unlock in season mode. And the Legends titles, like the $1 Million Championship and the Hardcore Championship, you have to unlock them in the challenge mode. But, yeah. Now, the Legends, we got Stone Cold back. Which, yeah. And we have, the British Bulldog, which, in the original SmackDown vs. RAW, he was supposed to be in the game, but he was locked in the disc, apparently. But you have to go through, like, game codes or whatever to get him. But, yeah. The controls are basically the same, actually. But there's one difference in the controls. The reversal. Or not the reversal. The Irish whip. Instead of circle, you have to press triangle and circle if a neutral grab. But if you grab somebody, you just press triangle. But yeah. Now, the arenas are in the game, but they always go backwards. Like, the Survivor Series 2004 arena is in this game. The No Mercy 2004 arena is in the game. The matchup screens and that. But you have the new ones, like the Taboo Tuesday arena, which is the 2004 one, by the way. And the New Year's Revolution arena. And the Great American Bash arena, which that was not in the first one for some reason. Who knows? And there's two unlocked. There's three actually. The two WrestleMania arenas, the 21 and the 9 one, and the ECW One Night Stand arena. But yeah. Now the creation modes are a lot better. You actually can create modes, and you can actually defend it outside of a pay-per-view mode. And it's not just a single you can create. You can create tag team championships. But yeah. And, the Create Wrestler mode is a lot better, let's just be honest, than the first one. And yeah. There's a new game called GM mode. Everyone's freaking out because it's back in 2K22. I was never a fan of GM mode, let's just be honest. It's kind of hard to structure your wrestlers in that. But anyways, you have the challenge mode, which is just the same. You have to win this thing if you want to unlock something, or you can use a game code or an actual replay or a game shark. Let's just be honest. Now, Pay-per-view mode is still the same. And you have one referee in this game for some reason. The prior year, in the next one, the prior year you have Earl Hebner and Mike Huna. Now it's just Brian Hebner for both brands. Now, there's a beta of it. Earl Hebner was the referee, but I guess he was locked on or he was just not there. But he was in season mode. Was in the season mode during some cutscenes on the Raw side. We'll talk about that. But yeah, the graphics are the same. There's a new one called a sleeper mini-game, which it's kind of stupid, honestly. It's the referee make sure he's still alive, awake, and yeah, the less I talk about that, the better. But yeah, so, and there's a facility match, which is just let's just not talk about that one. Now let's talk about the season mode. Now there's two storylines in this season mode. One for Raw, one for SmackDown. Now let's talk about the SmackDown one first. So at the beginning, Tay Long gets ran over by an unknown assailant. The next storyline you go through is Tori's contract with is either your character. Now, I'll talk about one instance that none of the storylines doesn't trigger for this. It's either your character, Cena, RVD, JBL, and Tori Wilson, obviously, but JBL will not appear like the go home SmackDown before the first pair you go in. Everyone is accusing anybody who run over Tay Long. Now I'll talk about one storyline near the end, just to solidify it. And you make a choice if you want to fight either John Cena or RVD. It doesn't matter which one you pick, but the other person says, thanks for telling me, say I'm not the one who did. And then your character says, you're not innocent or whatever. And then you and the other person you did not choose have a match. It's either Cena or RVD. You know. And then the RVD and Cena are going to have a match. Tori tells you to be the referee. Oh, by the way, she interacts with JBL. And then your character says, JBL, what the hell are you doing? And something about paperwork and contract, which we'll talk about near the end, near the beginning of this. Your character referee, it doesn't matter who wins. And then now you, Cena and RVD, will have a triple threat match, which Tori made for a contract. At the Judgment Day pay-per-view. And then JBL saying, you guys already fought someone, and I already have. Which was Tori Wilson's contract. And then the next SmackDown, your character says, you and me in a match for a contract. And then JBL said, nah, not tonight. He said, you gotta be kidding me. You're not even in my league. Oh, by the way, in the first part, he was the WWE champion. By the time this game came out, he was no longer the WWE champion because the WWE championship was on Raw. But, well, I had to say this. They can't have the championship on the right brand when the game was getting made. But no, in the championship, the Raw and SmackDown championship, or the SmackDown has to work with championship and the Raw has the WWE championship. But anyways, and then he puts you in his cabinet against you and either Cena or RVD. If you pick either one, let's say RVD, you and Cena have a parking lot brawl, and in the face, Orlando join the next way. Or vice versa. If you pick Cena and not RVD challenges you for a hardcore match to whoever wins face Orlando Jordan, and you have to win this match. You have to win both matches, by the way, if you want to continue into the match with JBL at the Vengeance for some reason. Although Vengeance was a Raw period at the time. I don't know why. But anyways, you have to win this match in order to get the Vengeance match. And you have to win, and you get the match with JBL at Vengeance. If you don't, you're not booked for the Vengeance period. The person who beat you has to go face JBL instead. But anyways, you win the match. You free Tori from her contract from JBL. And now we get to the second storyline, the Undertaker storyline. Anyways, And this continues on from the last one. You tell the different characters this time it's Booker T, Kurt Angle, Edgar, and of course The Undertaker. You confront Booker T, and you think he was the one who ran over Teddy Long. You think, oh, I have no idea. You're accusing me of writing down SmackDown General Manager Teddy Long. And he challenges you to a match. And the match doesn't matter if you win or lose. Undertaker comes out, and by the way, in the cutscenes, they use motion captures. They look hilarious and bad at the same time. Like, when Undertaker grabs Booker T like this. Weak choke slam. Undertaker, he doesn't do that choke slam, okay? And then you're getting confronted by Kurt Angle, who, by the way, him and Triple H are the two people who have the 95 overall, but Legend Hogan, Classic Hogan, has a 96 overall, so good luck facing him on Legend mode, that is. Anyways, Kurt Angle confronts you and challenges you to a submission match because he thinks Undertaker is working for him. Or working for Undertaker, rather. Doesn't matter if you win or lose. Undertaker comes out of nowhere again and attacks Kurt Angle. Gets him a last ride and then does that. I don't know. Again, the animations on the moves are really terrible. But anyways, and then the next week, Angle and Booker confront, talking about how they were attacked by The Undertaker, and they call you out, or call him out and you, when instead it's Eddie Guerrero comes out and says, we got a match tonight, and this is why this is the last time we have to see Eddie Guerrero when we see him as alive for this game. But anyways. And, Eddie will team up with you, and it doesn't matter if you win or lose. After that match, the tag match, Eddie Guerrero has an urn. And of course, the whole Lion King is stealing. Your character thinks, Eddie, and Eddie's like, have to put the urn back in, put it behind him, and then he thinks, Eddie, what you got here? And he's like, I don't know what you're thinking about. And he's like, I'm not worried about the Lion King, by the way. And it was revealed that Eddie Guerrero has an urn. And then he wants you to join up with him and Taker, or you're against him. It's different. If you're with Eddie Guerrero, you have to team up with The Undertaker to face Booker and Angle and ODQ tag match. Now I'll talk about the other option after. And, match with Booker the following SmackDown. By the way, that was at the No Mercy event, by the way. The following SmackDown, you face Booker T, and then your alliance with Eddie Guerrero, it's gone already. And then after that, you stole his urn. Now let's talk about the other option if you choose to decline Eddie Guerrero. You face him at No Mercy. It ends in a DQ when Undertaker comes in and uppercuts you and gets you a tombstone. And then the next SmackDown, you face him in a ladder match for the urn. Now, it doesn't matter which, you still have to face Eddie Guerrero on the Go Home SmackDown for the Survivor Series. And it doesn't matter if you win or lose. You have a fake urn, by the way, which Undertaker gives you another shitty chokeslam, the motion capture thing they did. And they said, you have to go one-on-one with my Big Daddy Amigo in a Buried Alive match. Another match you have to win, because there's a cutscene at the end. Now, you trick Eddie to having the fake urn. And he chokeslammed through the cast, and Undertaker chokeslammed Eddie into the casket, and kind of a weird thing about it, because it was around the time when Eddie died. Yeah, but you give the Undertaker his urn back, and that's the end of the storyline. Now, the next storyline is the Royal Rumble storyline. Now, you come into Vince's office and think how much the hard work you've done, and you can choose either a triple threat match, where if you could win, you could enter last in the Royal Rumble, but if you lose, you have to start the Royal Rumble, or you could do an Iron Man match for whatever number you come out at. And there's one cutscene I'll talk about after that. But anyways, now the difference in the story change. Let's talk about the change in the story for the SmackDown side. Anyways, John Cena and Rob Van Dam were the first two people you fought in the season mode. If you're not counting something we'll talk about. But anyways, so Vince introduced the New Day champion, which was either Rob Van Dam or John Cena. And he says, Teddy Long is coming back to SmackDown. You win the Royal Rumble. This is a must-win Rumble for you. Okay, if you lose, that person won the Royal Rumble, found it, well, it was a controversial way, and he was caught, and you and 5 random wrestlers fight in a battle royal. And this is a must-win Royal Rumble for you. But anyways, you win the Royal Rumble. Now let's talk about the John Cena part first. Your character begins brashing about he can go either Raw or Smack. He can stay on SmackDown to fight John Cena for the WWE Championship, or he can go to Raw like Chris Benoit did and go to Raw to face Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship. But then Teddy Long found out you ran down Teddy Long and you admitted to it. And he puts you in these impossible odds. Let's just be honest. You guys face Agar in a parking lot brawl, JBL in a cage match. But after the cage match, Triple H and Jericho were talking to Bischoff and talking about they don't want the SmackDown person to come to your brand. To their brand, rather. And yeah. And also, a special referee match with John Cena to have Kurt Angle face you. And then after that, Teddy Long makes you fight, well, 3 guys. Angle and Cena in a Hell in a Cell match. Well, guess what? There's a cutscene where A-Girl gets attacked, and then here's a tornado tag match. Where you and Triple H fight Angle and Cena. In the following SmackDown, Jericho and Triple H and you were in the ring, and Teddy Long interrupts and makes it a 6-man tag match between JBL, Cena, and Angle. And now, it doesn't matter if you win or lose, Cena and JBL attack Triple H and Jericho. Now, there's 2 choices you could go. You could either stay on SmackDown to face John Cena for the WWE Championship, or you can go to Raw to face the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, if you pick the Raw side, you have to face Jericho in an Iron Man match, and yeah, and you have to face Triple H, and that's the end of it. But if you stay on SmackDown, you have to face JBL in a first blood. Oh no, got it wrong. Currently on a submission match, JBL in a first blood match, and a ladder match to face Eddie Guerrero. And you face Cena at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. If you can win all 3, you can pick a stipulation of your match. And, yeah, you win with the WWE Championship and you're celebrating. Okay, now let's talk about the RED one. The ECW Resurrected. Teddy Long comes out instead of you and awards you the victory. And it was already announced that you were facing the WWE Championship RVD. Van Dam comes out with the WWE Championship with the spray painted ECW. And told him saying ECW's back and we're taking over SmackDown. Kind of funny when this game, like a few months later when this game came out in 2006, yeah, ECW came back as the 3rd brand. And if you already know, go back to my 2006 year review. And yeah. And then you face Rey Mysterio, who turned on the SmackDown to go to ECW, but that doesn't matter anyway because Ray was never seen again during the storyline. And then Ross, Chris Benoit, and Tajiri came out and attack you, and they all put you through a table. Well, Van Dam puts you through a table with a 5-star frog splash. Then the next week, Spike Dudley teasing that he's helping you, but then after the table smash with Benoit and Tajiri, Spike Dudley turns on you. And then next week, you have him either Big Show or Booker T to face Spike Dudley, Chris Benoit, and Tajiri in a no DQ handicap match. It doesn't matter who you pick. It doesn't matter because, well, yeah. And then No Way Out, you face Robert Dem in a TLC match for the WWE Championship. If you're now, this was a, if you're close to winning it, but Jericho stops you from winning the championship. And you get your choice if you want to side with ECW or stay on SmackDown. If you side with ECW, you're a traitor. And then Vince McMahon will come out and then said, I want this for the WWE Championship. And then Robert Dem betrays you. And then you win the match. You spray paint ECW. You did a Fan Terminator. And, yeah, that's how you end it. But if you choose to stay on SmackDown, you face Jericho in a no DQ match, and then Van Dam wants you to go to the extreme. And yeah, you face Benoit in an ultimate submission match. By the way, Taz missing Michael Cole. But anyways, it's the hardcore match at WrestleMania. It doesn't matter. You win. Face give Van Dam the 3D, and you have to stay in the season for SmackDown. Now the Raw side, you fight Triple H in your first storyline. The characters here are Triple H, Ric Flair, Shelton Benjamin. Sometimes Eric Bischoff is there, but he's not playable. Sometimes John Cena and Big Show will be a part of it. But anyways, the Raw side, you face Triple H in your first match. Doesn't matter win or lose, Ric Flair and Triple H will beat you up. And the next week, Shelton Benjamin says, "How you and me team out to give Triple H and Flair a little payback," and then Triple H and Flair beat Shelton up, and he was gone until we get to it. And the next week you face Ric Flair in a submission match, and then after the match, John Cena and the Big Show come out, and then they beat up Ric Flair, or they get past you and Triple H, and then Ric Flair gets beaten up, and then yeah. And the next week you don't have a match. You and Triple H had a promo, and then Eric Bischoff says, next Thursday you're going to SmackDown and give them, and to return the favor, and then you and Triple H will face Cena and Big Show at SummerSlam. Anyways, before the match, Shelton Benjamin talks to you, and after the match, doesn't matter, Shelton Benjamin hits Triple H with a steel chair, and then you're trying to calm him down, and yeah, so you have a choice here to go be with Shelton Benjamin or Triple H. If you choose Triple H, you face Shelton Benjamin for the Intercontinental Championship. But if you choose Shelton Benjamin's side, you have to fight Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, this is the storyline where Bischoff was randomly stripping the championships for some reason. And then in any unforgettable match, not whether it's the World or the IC title, he declared the victory null and void. And then he's fair to vacate the title into a proper rematch. We don't know yet until near the end. The next storyline is with the Resurrected Edge and Christian tag team, where you were allies with William Regal and Eugene, and you fight Christian, and then Regal later on fight Edge, and then he injure him, and you had to take Regal's spot in that match, in that tag team championship match. Anyways, you face Edge, and yeah. And then that was Tuesday, Trish was taking you away to not get in the tag team title match. Yeah. And then you have to face Edge and Chris alone in a handicap match. It doesn't matter if you win or lose, you still have to, you forfeit the match for some reason. Edge and Chris are the new tag team champions. And there's a different choices. If you're saying we'll get a rematch, but if you say Eugene's stupid, you have to face Eugene. But if you choose saying we'll get a rematch, you'll face Christian in a no-DQ match. It doesn't matter which one. The storyline continues on. That's one problem with it. You face Edge with Eugene as the special referee the next Raw. And then you fight Christian in a parking lot brawl in the next Raw. And in Survivor Series you face Edge and Christian in a ladder match for the World Tag Team Champions. If you win this match, you have to win this match. If you don't get a cutscene at the end. But anyways, William Regal will congratulate you. You gave him his Tag Team Championship back. But Eric Bischoff says, nope, you're fake. You're stripping the World Tag Team Champions. And then the Royal Rumble thing, the same thing. But the only difference is the wrestlers you fight on your brand. Now, I'm going to cover the Triple H storyline first. Now, it was found out that it was JBL that Vince McMahon did and fires Bischoff. And then you and JBL have a parking lot brawl, and then that's it. Anyways, you get attacked at Triple H, and then a hurricane save you. And you got a tag match with them. And then the next The next week, you face Ric Flair and another submission match. Now, Hurricane was got a World Heavyweight Championship match with Triple H, but that match did not happen because of a cutscene. Triple H hits him with a sledgehammer, and yeah. And then you face Jericho the next Raw. And then Jericho turns on you and joins forces with Triple H and Ric Flair. And and then you face Ric Flair, I believe. But then the next after the match, Coachman gets his ass whooped by Ric Flair and Chris Jericho, and then Jerry Lawler was another volunteer GM, whatever. And then whoever you pick in the first line, it doesn't matter who you pick, because the storyline was going to continue anyways. The next Raw, you get attacked by Triple H and one of his Crusaders, or his cronies, and then Mankind comes out and helps you, and Jimmy Hart is the Raw general manager, and then Mankind announced that it's going to be your character against Triple H in a Hell in a Cell match. So yeah. And yeah, that was, you face Triple H, you win. And yeah, that's the end of that part of the Road Wrestling storyline. Now, the Batista one, it's different because Bischoff comes out first, and then Vince, and then JBL revealed that he was working with JBL, Bischoff did, to help him bring back WCW perhaps, but then Vince says desperate times calls for desperate measures, and then Stone Cold comes out and his stars are really terrible in the motion capture cutscenes, let's just be honest. And then you, Austin, are trying to find out who the traitor is, but anyway, Stone Cold McMahon fired Bishop and Stone Cold counts a new GM. But yeah. You and but Austin are trying to find out who is the traitor of Raw is. And but yeah. And you have to find out who did it. You thought Chris Benoit was the one, but Chris Benoit said, "I'm no traitor." And then Kane comes out and comes behind him and he's saying, "I'm gonna say something." You know what I gotta talk about. And then Randy Orton comes in and stops it. But yeah, you got a tag match with Kane to face Orton Benoit, and it doesn't matter if you win or lose. But anyway, Austin then wants you to go to No Way Out to find out who the traitor is. You go to No Way Out, and you find out Batista was the traitor. And then the next, well, if you got a choice, if you believe him or he is the traitor. But anyways, it doesn't matter what party you pick. Well, you got a party on probably against Batista, or you have to team up with him to face Angle and JBL. Now, if you decide that Batista's not a traitor, you face Benoit Orton with Batista on your side in a tag match, and then Batista turns on you and Austin. But anyways, if you choose he was a traitor, Austin said Batista is the damn traitor, and then Big Show, Angle, and JBL comes out and beats up Austin, and then you, Benoit Orton, face them up in a 6-man tag. And they go home Raw. You and Austin face Batista and JBL in a tag match. And you have a choice. Again, like the Cena one. If you win, you win. JBL and Batista beat you up. Austin to the rescue. Fireworks, it's over. That's the Raw side. Now, there's another storyline, which I'm saving to the end. The Legend storyline. And it's a different cutscene if you're on SmackDown or on Raw. And there's a different match after the Bret Hart submission match. Anyways, you face the Bulldog in your first one, and then you face Bret Hart in a submission match. By which Jimmy Hart is the tour GM. And now you got a different match. If you're on a Raw side, you face Mankind, Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match. On the SmackDown portion, you face Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. Now, it doesn't matter which one it is, it continues. So Austin comes down and stuns Jimmy Hart, causes hell, and you and Austin face Hogan and The Rock on a SmackDown. Anyways, it doesn't matter which one it is. And you face Austin, Hogan, Bret Hart, The Rock, and Mankind in a Battle Royal. And then you get beat up by Austin and Mankind. And then you have a choice here. You want to pick a barroom brawl and a parking lot brawl, or the bar brawl and a first blood match. Doesn't matter. The story just ends. And that's it. So, it's been 30 minutes. Holy shit. So, I give this game an 8 out of 10. Not the best one. The next one is the best one. But yeah. There were good, but season mode was way better than the first one. The controls are still great. The addition of time matches are good. The new match types were fun. Now, there's only one negative I had to say: the mocap cutscenes from the moves. But the rest was good. Career Wrestler was great. The Creation Society was great. So yeah, next episode 7 in the SmackDown Vs RAW trilogy. Bye.